One of the most overlooked and often forgot about skills in Apex is having a good drop spot and knowing how to loot it efficiently. Having set rotations with you and your team in order to grab every item of loot and get out as fast as possible is a huge part of ranking up. But what if you don't know what area you want to make your own drop spot or don't even know where to begin picking a loot path? Well, lucky for you, in today's video I'm going to share with you a drop spot me and my squad go to every game and has seen some amazing results for us. A very strong loot pool with easy paths to get everything on top of having crafting and beacon spawns. This is the wonderland that is Northpad. The new map introduced in Season 11 Stormpoint has many great loot spots, lots of POIs and even some unnamed spots that have tons of available loot. The reason me and my team decided to go Northpad and why I love it so much is all the options we have. Number 1 is it's got a lot of loot, 6 bins on each pad plus loot in the middle and a full building. Number 2 is Prowler's nests are right there, so if we walk out with bad attachments we have the option of clearing the nest and upgrading ourselves a bit. Number 3 is it's easy to fight in. My team has landed contested over 20 times and we have only lost there twice. It's very easy to leverage the other teams and I'll talk about that more towards the end. And last, number 4, you can easily third party both wall and checkpoint from here. Having strong rotation options with the ability to third party is a huge factor in picking a drop spot. But now that I've convinced you to go there, let's talk about loot path number 1. This is a path I personally run on my squad. If you're looking at Northpad from the building's point of view, you'll want to be landing in the back left pad. You want to land at the back because then you can loot your way towards the building, picking up what you need and then hitting the bins in the main area. Then you make your way left and grab that first bin and then turn left once again to make your way down the left side of the middle pad all the way to the back, grab the bins and then come on back on the other side to pick up at whatever loot you may have missed. Then you can go towards the building, craft or whatever you need to do and then join your team to rotate out. Next up we have the other person landing at the back pad. He lands on the right side of the pad and loots that towards the building, grabs the bins in front of the pad and then makes his way to the zipline and takes the loot on the catwalk. You can then jump off and start looting whatever is left in the building with your other teammate. And that leads into where the third drops, and that is inside the building. They loot all of that while the other two grab what's on the outside and they make their way towards you. If you're playing a recon legend, I recommend you drop in the building because a beacon can spawn up top and you can hit that right away, giving your team more time to talk about where the next zone pulls and what your rotation options can be. But what if you land contested? What do you do then? You want to force that team to land in the building, all 3 of them. You do that by showing your team is taking the back, spread out so they all back off and swerve towards the building. 2 of you do the same by looting the back of the pads and working towards the building. The only difference is the person that landed the building is playing up on the catwalk. Most times a gun does spawn up there, so he's able to put shots on the team inside the building and show presence. He can also then give callouts to your teammates. Once the other 2 are done on the pad, you can then trade places and let the other player on the catwalk jump down and loot whatever they need. Once you all have loot, you can then make a play on the building. You want to be able to take a floor with as little risk as possible, so this usually means the bottom floor. When you do that, you can start to work angles on the building and make a play when you get a good crack or maybe even a knock with a good 1 clip. With this strategy, my team has been able to pick up a ton of early kills and win our drop spot multiple times. Another reason you want to drop towards the back is in case either wall or checkpoint tries to third party you. They will run into the building first, forcing a fight, then you can go in and third party and clean up when they trade. But now that you've won your spot, what are the best options to rotate out? My team never goes up the steep hill into checkpoint. Most teams camp that zipline or hill and it's a valley of death. You'll almost always want to go towards wall, looting the trenches as you do. You can then make a choice on if you want to loop around into checkpoint, go past towards command center, or even go up into wall. Now if you do go towards mill along the beach, I would say to take the trident. The Prowler's nest there can be a bit of a hassle and can lead to you losing some shields that you didn't have to lose in the first place. If this video does inspire you and your team to land Northpad, let me know how it goes for you and your team. Also, if you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. Alternatively though, if you try dropping Northpad and it doesn't vibe with you, here are 3 big takeaways in order to pick out the best spot for you and your team. First, you want to see what kind of loot the spot has. In order to be a good drop spot, it needs to have enough loot for your entire team to get them kitted out. If you land and your team only gets 1 building each, it isn't a strong spot and you'll want to look to find another area. Also, if you happen to be contested and another team comes with you, will you have enough loot to fight or will you be relying on RNG to give you a gun instead of them? You never want to rely on RNG, it will get you killed a lot. Most strong drop spots have 4 to 5 spots of strong loot, look for areas like that. Next up is to make sure that there are good rotations out. After you land and loot up, you want to be sure that you can safely make your way to wherever it is you need to go. If there's only one way out and you're forced to walk through a team and fight every game, then you may want to look into swapping drop spots. Early fights are good in some ways, but after looting a spot and rotating, you have to know that other teams are going to be doing the same thing, and you are opening yourself up to third parties and can end your game right there. And last up is to make sure that your team can loot quickly. A huge issue with a lot of spots like Barometer is that the loot is very spread out. You can't loot up efficiently, and you can lead to slower rotations that way. When you start to get into higher ranks, you always want to be the first team leaving the drop spot and making your way to zone. That way you can beat out gatekeepers and can make it through choke points before other teams meet you there. This gives you and your team the best options in where you can play. You want to be aiming to be looted up and out of your spot by 1 minute and 30 seconds before round 1 starts closing. If you don't believe me, go look at your favorite pro team and look at how they loot. Go watch one of their pro tournaments and see how fast and efficient they are, and when their IGL starts saying, hey, we need to go. You'll notice that a lot of teams don't take their time looting. They want to be fast and efficient to get a spot in zone as quickly as possible. You need to adapt this mindset into your own playstyle if you want to climb the ranks in Apex. I will be making more loot path videos in the future, so if you enjoyed this video, please remember to drop a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You'll also want to ring that bell to be notified when a new video goes up. We post daily, highly educational content that's aimed at making you the best Apex player you could possibly be, so you will not want to miss it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.